perhaps Barack Obama is not going to be quite so big a fan of the British as Presidents Clinton and Bush were. So is that the end of the affair? Joining me now to discuss all aspects of the arrival of Barack Obama are Gerard Baker, who is the US editor of The Times of London, as they tend to call it here, and the author and journalist, Vanity Fair contributing editor Christopher Hitchens. So I have to say, a year ago, you told me it was going to be Obama.
Yes, I did. Yeah, but I hadn't thought of the shade of Mau Mau haunting 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue until this minute, as a matter of fact.
Oh, do you just think it's not really significant?
I don't think it is. There is one thing about this president that you can tell from all his writings, and I think almost all his appearances too. He doesn't suffer from any kind of resentment. There's no chip factor.
Is inescapably America's poodle, do you think, Chris Hitchens?
Well, I wouldn't say poodle or 51st State or any of those things are true. And actually, I'd argue against myself, if you'd like, not just for its own sake. I mean, and against my colleague here. One thing, and it's sort of exemplified by the Obama victory, the country is becoming less Anglo-Saxon than it used to be. The late Professor Samuel Huntington, author of the Clash of Civilization, who just died last week, used to say, well, the fact is, America was founded essentially as Anglo and Protestant, and it's becoming less of those things in every region by the year. And the Obama victory is in an indirect, rather oblique way.
See that's going to
I
radically.
realise I've completely missed the chance to point out that I've written a book on this subject. It's called Blood, Class and Empire. You can get it at all fine bookstores. And
You've written a book on every
One
subject.
thing you could say for the president, as he looks out from his new windows and looks at the world, every crisis he sees coming at him, whether it's Palestine, whether it's Pakistan, India, Kashmir, Afghanistan border, whether it's the existence of the Iraqi modern state, each of these is the creation of British colonial policy. So he's wherever he looks.
So if he's inclined to feel sore on behalf of his Kenyan family, it might be just...
And not only that, they roughed up my old man.
Yes.
Who was he Kikuyu? I should know. He was Luo. He was Luo, wasn't he? But perhaps there is a hint of we could have done without this special relationship.
I mean, you have touched on how he doesn't appear to carry resentments, how he appears to be a very
extraordinarily so,
very poised man who thinks before he speaks and doesn't try and emote. I mean, that, it seems to me, is going to transform not just American politics, but global politics.
And speaks English better than most English people.
Absolutely. I think, no, that's right. He's really a remarkably self-disciplined. I mean, somebody said, I think absolutely, one of the best judgments that I read of Barack Obama shortly after the election was somebody said he has the political intelligence of Bill Clinton married to the ruthless self-discipline of Vladimir Putin. And I think, in a good way.
He doesn't have the nastiness of Vladimir
Putin. But he has...
He can't quite give up smoking, it seems. I'm very fascinated by this. As someone who did manage to crack...
Well, nor can David Cameron, of course.
Yeah. Isn't that right?
Still, the pressures of an election campaign probably good. But I agree, he is a remarkably, obviously capable, intelligent, self-disciplined, and as Chris says, doesn't bear grudges. And I think the most impressive thing we've seen in the last 2 months is he really does seem to be intent on governing in a completely pragmatic way. I mean, this is a very, very, very good thing. I mean, he doesn't seem to be terribly ideological. These were some of the fears about him from some of the mysterious elements of his past. He doesn't really seem to have much of an ideological, strong ideological commitment. What he seems to want to do is to do what's best, in this terrible situation America finds itself in, to do what's best for the country. That's very, very encouraging.
And is he going to be able to work, do you think, with Hillary Clinton?
Well, I think it's a big mistake. I think he's risked the dignity of the country on a foolish move, and his own security in office as well. I mean, the way I phrased it is ask yourself this question. It's 3 a.m. There's a foreign policy crisis. Who is the Secretary of State going to call?
It tells me the one big difference between Britain and America is that there's really a very active argument here, including votes in Parliament, in the Congress, about what should be done. And Americans are much more hesitant about saying, well, the solution is taxpayer money.
Very much more so. But don't forget what Rahm Emanuel, the new, about to be new Chief of Staff, said the other day at a speech in Chicago. He said, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. In other words, a crisis is viewed by some in the Democratic Party as the opportunity or the occasion to, if you like, restore the credit of Keynesianism. There are things we wanted to do anyway. The country's infrastructure is known to be rather corroded or eroded. Bridges are collapsing. There hasn't been anything put into the railroads or the highway system for a long time. We've now been faced with quite widespread unemployment. What if the two solutions turn out to be the same? There really is a new deal. You get people back to work that way. It's pump priming plus full employment plus Sorry, to some extent, well, I was going to say,
Did you see
except
that?
for the cultural left, I think have done very well out of Obama. I don't think the economic left, suppose this would be one, has particularly triumphed. But I think what has gone is the confidence in at least one form of the old right, namely the free market laissez-faire. That's taken a real pasting.
Obviously, none of us know what global events they're going to mean, but looking at Barack Obama, how secure do you think he is as a president? He's already saying we may not sort everything out in one term, as if he's assuming he might get 8 years.
He's doing what sports coaches call low-balling things. He's sort of saying, no, our team isn't as good as all that. You know, he's whistling past the thing, and quite rightly, he's trying to suppress what are, as we're about to see on the Mall today, enormous expectation. I think that's shrewd of him.
Thank you both very much indeed.